of December 2024, and it's the D-Day for the presidential elections in Ghana. This is the start of a full day's coverage of proceedings. I am Imo Edet, and I do have Abdullah Hassan here with me, and of course other team members including Christopher Ticho, Ogobierika, and Augustine Coley. You also hear from our correspondent in Ghana, including Nadide Tete, Echa Tisu, Francis Boniface, Gideon Amano, Taki Albert, Afis Tijani, Edwin Gogu, Ibrahim Zibrila, and of course our French colleagues here. Christian Mukwidi is at Kinishan for the morning, and Maudu Jofu will be handling the live streaming. It's going to be a full day coverage here. All eyes, especially across Africa and indeed the entire world, will be on Ghana as voters in the country go to the polls to elect a new president and a parliament. Voting is expected to begin at 7 a.m., less than 30 minutes from now. Abdullah, good morning to you. The D-Day is here. Welcome.
Good morning to you, Imo, and good morning to you out there. Like Imo said, we're glad to have you join our live broadcast. It's a whole day event.
A full day.
Full day, beginning from this very moment until about 8:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's going to be minute to minute or hour to hour update live on radio and of course on our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Wherever you are, be sure to have the update with us.
Of course. Well, you also know that this period has been very intense for Ghanaians, especially campaigning across country by the candidates and raising out issues in this government, hoping that that may stand as some conviction for voters to vote for them. And we're seeing the big players coming on board. Former President John Mahama as the main opposition in this case.
Exactly.
This is not the first time, the second time, the third time.
The fourth time, actually.
He will be running, contesting, and people are saying, sir, it's time to give up. It's time to allow the young people to take charge. Yeah.
I mean, surprisingly, what happened in the United States of America is what we'll be seeing today in Ghana. The only difference is that you have more candidates, but then you have Mahama, who only served one term before he was removed. And then you have Nana Akufo-Addo, having served two constitutional terms. He's supposed to leave office. Of course, he's leaving, but then he's vice president. In the case of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, wants to take over the presidency, right? But what we've seen, and according to experts that we've spoken to, is both of them, the two candidates, the two key players, they all have the same manifestos. They've all been speaking about the same issues. There's no really any big difference. So the question is, who is going to emerge winner at the end of the day? Or are we going to see what happened in Nigeria, for instance? There's going to be an upset, somebody from nowhere taking the lead, because like people are saying, we want to see something new. For talking about if there will be an upset, from some of the statistics read out by Afrobarometer just a couple of days ago, it shows clearly that the people want a change, and we don't know if this change will lie with the vice president coming in as president, or the change will lie with another opposition candidate coming in as president. So it's really dicey, and a very crucial election for Ghanaians. Well, in this first half of this broadcast, we will link up with reporters much later from 7 a.m. Yeah, that will be from 7 a.m. When ballot voting would have started. And this will run from 7 till 9 a.m. And then at 9, our French colleagues will take over till about 10 a.m. We will return at midday and bring the proceedings till about 1:30 p.m. Now at 2 p.m, the French team will be back to bring you updates of proceedings till about 3 p.m. At 4:30 p.m, Abdullah and myself will be back with some in-studio guests to look at the proceedings so far till about 6 p.m. And at 6:30 p.m, Isuli and the team will be here for the evening session, and this will run till about 7:30 p.m. We will close our coverage for today from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Whereas if there will be any breaking news, of course, we may continue. But in the meantime, in between these broadcasts and breaks, you'll be getting updates via our social media platforms and even on radio here. And don't forget, like Abdullah mentioned, we are streaming live on wadr.org, and you can watch all of our videos, live videos. We have a man on the field, our men on the field, and they will be bringing in live videos as it happens on Facebook, YouTube, and of course all of our social media platforms. So we're glad that you can find time to join us, and by 7 we'll be back. Abdullah, we spoke with first-time voters, and there was this enthusiasm, there was this great expectations. It's just like when you're being posted to a football team and you're so looking forward to be among the first team that will play. Your thoughts on this?
No, very true, right? Because in 2016, Ghana registered 15.7 million voters.
Yeah.
In 2020, it was 17 million. And in 2024, it's about 18.7 million. So you can see that every 4 years, there's been an increase of about 1.2 or 1.3. And this year, the Electoral Commission said they registered first-time voters of almost 700,000.
An increase.
Yeah. So it's really important. And for me, what this means is that young people are beginning to realize and understand their place in democracy. Their voices need to be heard. And it shouldn't just be about voting, but even after vote, right? And for some of the first-time voters, that is why they are really concerned, and it's why they really want to be part of the process to make sure that they are being heard and they remain a part of the system.
Well, talking about first-time voters, let's quickly listen to their thought and their expectations.
As a first-time voter, I'm so excited about this year's general elections. I believe that as a young person, my voice deserves to be heard, which is why I've been looking forward to this moment for so long. I mean, it feels amazing to finally get the chance to make my voice count, and I'm delighted to be part of this important decision-making process for our country. And I truly hope that my choice of candidates will emerge victorious in this year's election.
I'm very excited to join the people to decide on which leader we are supposed to choose, who will rule us for the next 4 years. And then I think with some of the policies they are coming up with, it is encouraging me to vote for some of the candidates.
I'm dreading the queue and the line, and if there's chaos, like what's going to go on at the polling station, like, because sometimes these things can be chaotic from what I've seen throughout the years. But hopefully, I'm voting on University of Ghana campuses, so hopefully the security is quite tight and there's no chaos or anything.
These two main political parties, I've felt this for some years now, and I think they have nothing different to offer. Yeah, so I'm not that excited.
I'm a little bit excited, but the feeling is neutral.
Well, I like that ending. It's mutual.
It's just what you said earlier.
Yes.
They want change, but then they are tired. Almost everybody's saying the same thing. Nobody's bringing anything new on board.
I remember, yesterday, Mamjara was asking me more how many candidates. And I told her, look, there were 13 candidates until the demise of the female candidate, bringing it down to 12 now.
Yes.
And she asked again, who are the main contenders? I said, well, former President John Dramani Mahama is running. And she said, he is running again? I said, well, that is Africa for you. Our leaders don't get tired. They just want to find somewhere, somehow, and remain in power. And this is one thing that has dragged on for a very long time. And some people say it impedes on development. It impedes on growth, because what is the new thing that you are bringing? 18.7 million voters are going to decide if what all the things that they've been saying, across the 276 constituencies, will work out. Today is an ultimate decider. It's a big day to know if Mahama's manifestos will work, or Baomia's talk will also work. But of course, we also spoke with some residents of Accra on their feel on this election season, the election day, and everything about the campaigning, boxed together, climaxing to this election. Let's take a listen.
In Ghana is the end of another 4-year cycle, and various political parties led by their flag bearers have been crisscrossing the country, seeking to convince the electorates to give them the mandate to govern the country for the next 4 years. For the two leading political parties, New Patriotic Party, NPP, National Democratic Congress, the NDC, one is campaigning on the need for a reset of the country. That is the NDC. And then for the NPP, they are campaigning on an upgrade and bold leadership. There are other 10 presidential candidates contesting in this election. However, it's a two-horse race between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia of the NPP and John Dramani Mahama of the NDC. I have a group of ladies and gentlemen here. I would ask them, first of all, what they make of the entire campaign process, whether they think this last-minute push would convince them or their minds are already made up, and whether they will be casting their votes. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. First of all, I'll start with you.
Okay.
How has the campaign gone for you? Have you been following?
Oh, yeah, I've been following them since they all started their campaign. And I hear reset, I hear upgrade and other things a lot. So I've been following.
Okay. And, aside these two, there are two others who are also considered to be in the top 4. That is Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen of the Movement for Change and Kwame Bediako, Freedom Jacob Caesar, popularly known as Cheddar. What about them? You didn't pay attention to their...
No. I didn't really pay attention to whatever they were saying. Even though they are making with bets, it is only the two major ones that I did follow all this while.
Okay. What about you?
I've been paying attention to those who are popular, which is, as you said, the top 4. The rest, I hardly hear anything from them. My mind has not changed. The perception I had at the beginning of their campaign is the same I still have.
So none of their campaign messages changed your mind in any way?
Yes. Prior to the campaign, I had made my mind that I was not going to vote. They were not able to convince me to vote. I believe I would have voted for NDC if they had another candidate. I don't believe in Mahama returning.
Okay.
So because of that, I'm still not undecided. So yes.
So you're still undecided?
Yes. It will take grace to take grades.
But it's your civic responsibility.
But I don't have faith in any of them. I'll prefer James went on the ticket because I believe she has at least, by depending on our trend, she had like 8 years, hopefully, to do something. But I believe the NDC will come and tell us 4 years was not enough for Mahama to do anything. He says the economy is sport. Can he fix it in the 4 years? He's not being truthful. So they've not been able to change my mind.
I disagree with him. I believe 4 years he can make an impact.
Okay. Why do you believe so?
Making an impact shouldn't require you 5 or 6 or 7 years. Even if it is 2 years and you have that vision and you have a target that this is what I want to do, that 4 years, he can really make some impact to the people who they might be governing. I think that people are making mistake saying that the return, or maybe when they vote for GM and he returns, he's not coming to make any impact. Do you prefer the 8 years that we are going through this hardship and you want to add another 4 years with the same people? If you prefer that one, and you make a decision that, okay, let us change. Even if you think that the NDC should have a different candidature, I believe very well that if we give the reset the opportunity, either 2 years or 3 years, they can make an impact.
Okay, let me hear other people as well. What about you? Have any of the candidates convinced you? It doesn't have to be the top 2.
Yeah, now I'm very convinced. Although I can see NPP and NDC. The NDC is for 24 hours economy. The NPP is for digitalization. And I'm looking at this digitalization that we are talking about. The whole world is moving forward in advance. And I can see that digitalization can help a lot. By looking at the 24-hour economy too, Ghana is unemployment. We have a lot of people who are still...
Unemployment rates are high.
Yeah. So I think the NDC too has a lot of things, looking at them, I think 90%, I'm convinced 90% for NDC.
So you are convinced you are most likely going to vote the NDC. What about the other candidates? I mean, there's Alan Kwejo Chemating, there is Cheddar Kweku Bediako, there is Kofi Akbalu, and all those. You are not considering them as options?
You know, for them, I see like this is their first time, so I don't see any kind of. They are not. I'm not convinced about.
You don't
them.
think that they can make an impact?
No,
if you vote for them, you don't think they'll win?
Not at all. I don't think they have their limits. Yeah, I don't think they can go far.
All right. What about you?
Okay, so I have been following the Baumia campaign, and then I think that his 1 million digitalized jobs sounds so vague. It's not detailed enough, because I'm there and I'm thinking like there are a lot of people unemployed, and I'm thinking like how are people going to get these digital jobs? Okay. Like we are just going to sit at home and what is it about? Like I'm not sure what it's about. So I really wasn't convinced. But looking at Mohammed's 24-hour economy, I'm like, if I can go to a sales shop and then I'll be registered 8 hours, I work, I get my money, I go. If that is the policy he's bringing, then I'm all for it, because I believe in the physical job that I can see, I can feel, I know I'm putting in efforts that I can get my money. But then if you ask me about other political parties and their messages, I think apart from those two candidates, the one that has policies that really attracts me is APC, Hassan Ayariga.
Okay. The All People's Congress.
Yes. He is talking about shutting down the entire economy and then starting all over. Okay. Because currently Ghana, we are in debt. We are importing a lot of goods, which is having an impact on the economy. So I personally feel that it will be better if we can focus on ourselves, try to feed ourselves with our own products than depending on other people. But that doesn't mean I'm going to vote for the APC, although I buy into his policy. Okay. I think that for now, it will be better if I go with John Mahama.
I hear you talk about the APC and you buy into the ideas. How about you give the minority political parties a chance? Because the concern has been that we are running a duopoly sort of between the NDC and the NPP, and not much progress have been gained or made with these two political parties. How about you give the APC a chance?
Okay, so I had also thought about this question, but then we all remember what happened in Parliament some time back. NPP has 137, NDC has 137, and then they are still struggling on passing a bill, passing a law. Imagine I go and vote for APC, who doesn't even have enough candidates to fill the Parliament House. How is he even going to garner the support to pass a bill or a law? So I feel like for now, it will be best if he still gathers some more momentum and then try again next time. And there are people who actually believe in what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your diverse perspectives you shared on this particular subject. Make sure that you go out there and cast your vote.
All right, many thanks, Nadia Dictitides. Speaking with likely voters for today's election, well, they are saying, try again. You know, this bottling companies, when they are doing promos and they ask you check under the crown cork, you will see maybe a gift and all of that. And in most cases, you try again.
Empty, try again.
That is the case for some candidates
in
this election. Well, we'll be taking a pause at this point, and then we'll be back in full force at the top of the hour to begin the main broadcast itself. If you're just joining us, don't miss 7 a.m. We'll be back for the coverage of the 2024 presidential elections in Ghana. Well, Abdullah Hassan will be here much later in the broadcast, and together we'll also be looking at what will be happening and the proceedings across the country. Thank you so much. I am Imo Adet. We're back in the next 10 minutes to kick off fully on the coverage of the 2024 general elections in Ghana.
2024 general elections in Ghana. What to know? Today, December 7, is Ghana's general elections, where 13 presidential candidates will be vying for the top job as president.
On the platform of 9 political parties, among the 13 aspirants, 4 are independent candidates.
There are also 801 parliamentary nominations, with 111 independent candidates for 276 constituencies.
Total number of valid voters are 18,774,159. Voters on biometric register are 15,640,811, while special voters are 131,478.
With these figures, 48% are male voters, 52% make up female voters, while 55% represent young voters and 4% are first-time voters.
She got a man that you wanna get down. Wanna party till the sun goes down tonight. And me, I got a girl and I don't really mind. Me, I just want to grab your waistline tonight. Oh, girl, yeah, the way you wind your body for me, they make me want to fuck you, mommy. I'm a little wine, you wine. The way you wind your body for me, they make me want to dash you cocky. I'm a little wine, you wine. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just want some little fun, little flex, little wine, little something tonight. Oh, na, na, na. I just want some little wine, little fun, little flex, little something tonight.